Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danny and today we have another book haul. Since my last book haul with you guys, I have picked up 14 more books that I want to chat with you guys about. I know that some of you have probably seen some of them, especially on my Reorganize My Shelves video, but I wanted to just pause for a moment and talk through the stories and the reasons kind of behind some of my purchases. So the first that I will start with is actually up here on my shelves, and I can pull down. Hopefully these don't fall. So the first is the box set of the Shades of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab. These are the collector's edition, the illustrated editions, because the new editions, sorry, this is going to take me a minute to get out of the box. Hold on just a second. Okay, because the new editions of these books are reprinted with a different label, and I really liked the original covers of these books, I went ahead and bought the collector's edition because even though these aren't, I don't believe these are the exact original covers that they had, they are very close in theme, and I don't know, I just liked them better than the new version, and I don't know if I can pull the new version down. This is another recent purchase, and this is the fourth book. The new covers look like this, so this is the fourth book in the series. I actually think that this might be, I don't know if it would be considered the fourth book in the original series or if this is just a spin-off series within the same world. I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. And I don't want to read the synopsis because I don't want to spoil myself for the original series. But this is what the new covers look like. And I do like them, but I don't know. There's just something classic about the original covers. And so that's why I ended up purchasing the collector's edition. So I read the first book in the original trilogy with Rainey and Katie, and I absolutely loved it. And I was about 50% of the way in, maybe a little bit further, before I decided I wanted to go ahead and buy the box set. And so I just purchased the entire series because I knew that I loved the world and I loved the characters and I'm excited to see where it goes. And so yeah, these are illustrated versions. And so let me show you guys real quick. I won't show you all of them, but this is the artwork that's inside of the first one, and the cover underneath the dust jacket as well is foiled. There's nothing on the back, but it does have gold foiling. So they are very, very beautiful books, and I'm happy to have them in my collection. And yeah, I'm excited to continue the series. Next in my purchases, I have the Wager. So I don't buy a lot of nonfiction. I don't read a lot of nonfiction, but this book has been staring at me every time I walk into Barnes & Noble for quite some time, ever since it came out, and I'm just intrigued by it. And I ended up getting a gift card from a friend, and so I splurged a little bit and bought a couple of books. So this book and one other book that I have not read yet, because as you guys know, I typically don't buy books that I haven't read yet unless they are in series, and I've enjoyed the first couple of books. So this is a little bit of a risk for me, but I am really intrigued. It's supposed to be a story of kind of a real life shipwreck and a real life, I think, pirate story. It says a tale of shipwreck, mutiny, and murder. And I've heard amazing things about it. I'm excited to get to it. So I went ahead and splurged and bought this for my collection. Next, on that same outing with the gift card, I also went ahead and bought The Bad Ones. This is probably a little bit more of a risk than The Wager, because I do think that most nonfiction books that I pick up, I do end up enjoying. And so I believe that that book will probably be one that I enjoy. This one, however, I don't know. It sounds really intriguing. It is a YA horror. And the YA portion is why I'm a little worried, but I am just really intrigued. The synopsis says, in the course of a single winter's night, 4 people vanish without a trace across a small town. Nora's estranged best friend, Becca, is one of the lost. As Nora tries to untangle the truth about Becca's disappearance, she discovers a darkness in her town's past, as well as a stirring of coded messages Becca left for her to unravel. These clues lead Nora to a piece of local lore, a legendary goddess of forgotten origins who played a role in Nora and Becca's own childhood games. I'm not going to read the rest of it because I don't want to get to the last paragraph, just in case there are some spoilers in there, but I am excited about it. I do think it's intriguing. but I'm a little worried because it's YA. But let's be honest, I was so tempted by this cover. It is just beautiful, and I'm hoping that the story lives up to the beauty of the cover. Next, we have Sundels. This is a book I've talked about a lot on my channel, and I am happy to have it in my collection. I did find this at Half Price Bookstore, so I was excited to add this one to my collection. If you haven't ever heard me talk about this, brief synopsis: you follow a woman and her daughter, and something happens at the very beginning of the book where the mother believes that she needs to separate her children. She has 2 daughters, and she decides to take one of them out to Sundel, which is her family's desert home that no one has lived in for quite some time, and there are definitely some nefarious things that have gone down, and so you learn about the mother's history, but also some things going on with the child and what that means. This book is very trippy, and there are so many things that I have questions about after reading it, and I just want to go back and annotate the heck out of it and see if I can pull even more like conspiracy theories from the story. So that's why I added this one to my collection. Next is a book that I'm so excited to have in my collection. This is Night Film. And this is a recent read. This is actually a book I finished 2 nights ago. And oh my gosh, I absolutely love this book. I have a vlog coming out hopefully soon. I'm not going to tell you what the vlog is because I don't want to spoil anything, but I will tell you guys more of my thoughts in depth on this book. But it is a mystery horror novel that follows the death of a infamous horror director's daughter and the investigative journalist who is investigating her apparent suicide and whether or not her father may have had something to do with it. And it's very dark. It is mixed media. So throughout this book, you have blogs, you have journal entries, and you have kind of darknet stuff that he ends up finding. And I loved it. It was very suspenseful, very dark at times. And I love the fact that, actually, that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to give anything else away. You'll have to watch the vlog whenever it comes out if you want to hear more in-depth thoughts, but I'm really excited that I get to have this in my collection because it's definitely one that I will reread. Next is the book that I was actually waiting to receive in order to do this haul, and this is The Book That Wouldn't Burn. So this is the sequel to the library series, which is The Book That Wouldn't Burn, which is my second favorite book of the year last year, and I finally got the sequel, and I'm so excited to read it. I have not picked it up yet because I've had some other priority reads that I've had to pick up, but I'm excited to get back into this. Because it's a sequel, I won't tell you much about the plot here. In the first book, you follow 2 characters, Ivar and Levira. Ivar lives in a library, and his family and ancestors have lived in this library for hundreds of years, and they cannot escape. And Levira lives out in the dust, away from the city and kind of civilization. And the storylines end up colliding. You have war, you have the intrigue of this library and magic surrounding it. You also have this caste system in the society that they're in as well that takes place. It was a very beautifully written book, and the 2 characters were just phenomenal. I absolutely love this storyline, and I can't wait to continue. Next, we have The Witness for the Dead. So this is a companion novel to The Goblin Emperor. If you've never heard me talk about The Goblin Emperor, you follow Maya, who is a half goblin, half orc? I can't remember what his other half is, but he's half goblin. And his father is the Goblin Emperor, ends up getting murdered, and all of his brothers also get murdered who were in the line of succession, and ends up putting him on the throne, and he has to figure out how to be emperor even though he's never been trained to be. This is a companion novel to that where you follow one of the characters from that series, and I really enjoyed this book. I absolutely love Catherine Addison's writing. These books are very nostalgic to me, even though I'd never read them before. They're also a little cozy, even though they're political. I love these books. So I also bought from the same companion series, The Grief of Stones. So this is another Catherine Addison set in the same world. I don't know which character this follows, but it follows one of the characters from The Goblin Emperor. So I'm excited to get back into the world, and I'm excited to have more from that series. I do not believe that you have to read The Goblin Emperor to read either of these, and I don't think that you have to read them in order, although these are numbered, so maybe you do have to read these in order. I would recommend, though, reading The Goblin Emperor first, just because there were some context clues in The Witness for the Dead that you wouldn't really understand if you didn't read The Goblin Emperor, but I don't think that they would completely hinder your understanding of the story. Next is another book I'm excited to have in my collection, and that is The Remarkable Retirement of Edna Fisher. I freaking love this book. It was so cute. You follow an 83-year-old woman who becomes the chosen one to save her city, and she was not expecting this. She's sitting in a retirement home, specifically a retirement home that does not have any magic, even though she lives in a magical society that has trolls and orcs and fairies living all around her. She is not someone who has magic. And so to be selected as the chosen one to try and save her city, even though she is not really imbued with powers, is a little interesting to see her try and adapt to the situation, and the band of people that she gets together to travel with her on her journey are just lovely. Absolutely glad to have this one in my collection. Next, a book that I have talked about on my channel recently in a 5-star review is Kings of the Wild. Oh, I love this book. I did give this book 5 stars, and you follow a band of men who are 20 years past their prime. They are known as the infamous band Saga, and by band I don't mean musical band. There are nods to infamous rock bands and things in this book, but they are a mercenary band who fight monsters in this kingdom. And the book is following them 20 years past when they were kind of known as one of the best bands out there, and one of them, his daughter, is in a bit of trouble, and he goes to his fellow brethren that used to be in this group with him and asks them to put the band back together one last time and try and go and save his daughter. It was funny, it was original. I loved the world of monsters and chaos in this book. It was absolutely fantastic. Which leads me to my last haul item, and that is Bloody Rose, which is the second book in the Kings of the Wild series. This just follows another band from that same world, and I can't wait to get back into this. It's so fun. And I think that the same author has the third book coming out this year, if I remember correctly, or at least it's coming out soon. So yes, I can't wait. I think that this band is supposed to be female-centered, and so I'm excited to see that in this kind of rough and gruff world, how that's going to play out. I am very excited about this. So just a little bit of information about this haul. So out of the 14 books that I have read from this book haul, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 counting The Darker Shades of Magic. So 7 out of the 14 I have read, and oh wait, I was giving myself credit for Bloody Rose, and I've definitely not read that yet. So 6 out of the 14. Man, I thought I had 50-50. Well, poop. That's okay. So 6 out of the 14 that I'm adding to my collection, I have already read. And I will say that 6, so these 3 and the Shades of Magic series are all series or authors that I have read from before. And then I have my 2 that are kind of outliers of authors and books that I have not read before that I am still excited to add to my collection, but they're a little bit of a risk, but I hope that they're worth it. So those are the 14 books that I'm adding to my collection today. Have you guys read any of these? Are you excited about any of them? What books have you most recently added to your collection? I would love to chat with you guys in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely evening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.